This is Chef McDang. We're in Chiang Mai, the northern capital of Thailand. This is a mountainous region. The land is abundant and lush. The north of Thailand has a history that goes back over 1,000 years. It's also the center of the Buddhist religion here. Northern people eat sticky rice. Northern food receives its influence from Burma, India, and China. Because of the cold climate, Northerners need fat in their diet to keep them warm. Consequently, they eat a lot of pork. Northern people eat a lot of pork. Everything is pork because the climate is so cold in the winter that they need fat in their system. Look behind me and we'll see how much pork they eat. Everything here is made of pork. It's pork sausage. Every culture has a sausage, and in the northern of Thailand, we have this sausage called sai ua. It's different from the northeast. And then here's pork rind. This is sour pork everywhere. And this pork rind is very, very special because it's eaten with almost all the paste that you can get. And this paste is very popular in Thailand and especially in the north. It is called nam prik num, or a chili dip, a chili paste dip, made only with roasted chilies and some other ingredients, but purely chili peppers. Not so hot, it depends on the season, okay? So I tell you, they eat pork and everything to do with pork. So plenty. This is very good. There are two kinds of pork rind. One with some fat in it, others is just crispy pork rind, no fat. I like the one with the fat. And this is not too hot yet because it's still the wet season, the end of the wet season. If it's during the dry season, all hell breaks loose because the chili peppers becomes really, really hot. Chiang Mai is a city, and the northern area of Thailand is a land of plenty. And you can grow so many things that you can't grow down in the south of Thailand. Such as this. This is probably from the Royal Project, and this is green beans. Usually in the olden days they didn't have all these things, and the Royal Project started to do all these mushrooms and all the fruits, avocado, everything else that Thailand could not grow. In the last 20 years we could grow all these things, and it's wonderful. So we have a lot of other things to select and to use in our cuisine. One is sugar snap peas, this one, and this is snow peas. We never had this before. Because of the colder climate, the north can grow many different produce that are available abroad. There are hundreds of royal projects all over the country, but the first few projects initiated by His Majesty the King were started in Chiang Mai over 43 years ago. The climate and soil in the mountains made this area suitable for growing all kinds of Western fruits and vegetables. In Thai or in northern language it says I'm visiting one of Chiang Mai's wet market called ตลาดต้นลำไย or Longan Tree Market. All kinds of ingredients from fresh produce to dry shrimp are sold here. But when it comes to seasoning northern food to make it salty or making paste, northern cuisine is influenced by food culture from India, Burma, and China. Usually we salt our food with fish sauce, but here we can also use soy sauce. When making paste, we usually use shrimp paste. แม่จ๋า this is แหกดูได้ไหมเนี่ย This is a shrimp paste, okay? กินได้ไหมเนี่ย
ได้ค่ะ
So they use shrimp paste in the south, but no. In the north, you have many choices. You have salted fish, fermented fish paste, and that you can use instead of it. But there's one more thing that you can still use, and we're going to go and see it. นี่ไงถั่วเน่าใช่ไหมครับ Here it is. Fermented soybean cake. And this is used instead of shrimp paste to make a paste when you have to cook northern Thai food. It's from China because it's made with soybean, and it's fermented soybean that made into a paste and then sun-dried and made into a cake. When you want to use it, all you have to do is roast it, soak it in water, and then you pound it into a paste. That's it. But it's Chinese, and because we are close to China, that's what we do. We're on the way to see how fermented soybean paste and chips are made at San Patong district outside Chiang Mai. There are three kinds of fermented soybean paste: the chip or cake, the paste wrapped in banana leaf and steam, and lastly, seasoned with herbs and spice, the paste is wrapped in banana leaves and then roasted. We're going to go through the whole process of making fermented soybean cake and fermented soybean. In Thai or in northern language, it says Let's start from the beginning. They grow the soybeans in the field near their home. The soybean is harvested, then the seed is dried. Then wash the seeds until the water comes clear, no sediments. Soak the dry seeds in water overnight, 24 hours. Boil the seeds until it's cooked and soft. Drain the cooked beans and put it in a burlap bag and allow it to hang to ferment for 3 days. So This is the beans that have been soaked and boiled and then been hanging for 3 days. Now it comes out and then she's going to add salt. Just to mix it to add the salt in. Okay. Then you put the whole thing through a grinder. Now after it's grinded, it looks just like this. And now we're going to make this chip. And it's like a tortilla press. That's how she's going to do it. พี่ทำเลยนะครับ The amount that she needs, she puts it in here. It's a measured amount so that every single chip is the same size, okay? And then this is plastic, and basically it has to be soaked in water a little bit. And then she puts this on top. She presses it down. It's just like your regular tortilla press chips. Yeah. And you know, it's really cheap, and all the process you have to go through to do this. Oh my, Jesus. After you have made all these cakes or chips, place them on a flat wicker basket and bake them in the sun until they're dry. Now another way of doing this chip, but this becomes a paste, is to wrap it in banana leaves and steam it, okay? She's gonna make it. Spoon the paste onto the banana leaves. She uses a lot of banana leaves because when you grill it or roast it over charcoal, it won't dry out. The inside won't dry out. Roll the paste into a long shape. Gather the top and bottom part of the banana leaves, fold it over each other. Tie it with bamboo strips. Then you roast it over charcoal. We have on your right, this is the one that has just been done, but it hasn't been steamed yet. This one is already steamed, and this one is steamed and then it's roasted over charcoal. And all of them are fragrant but different because this one is a little bit more smoky. They add all kinds of herbs and spices to it to make it fragrant and delicious. And this becomes a soybean paste. In Thai would call it song krung. But basically this paste can be used as a dip. And of course, you know me. Sticky rice, all right? And then you just take a little bit of this with your thumb, as usual, and then you stick it in your mouth. Good. Fragrant. It doesn't taste too Thai, it tastes a little Chinese, but because it has Thai herbs, it's really good. แม่เอาใหม่ก่อน I don't know. There are many dishes in the north where fermented soybean cakes are used. Today, we're going to make two dishes. Nam prik ong, or ground pork chili dip, and fermented rice noodle with curry pork spare rib stew, or khanom jeen nam ngiao. The fermented soybean cake. And here we have what is ready to be added to the curry paste that we're going to do this dish, which is a stir fry. What you have to do is you have to bake this or roast it, and then you pound it. You add the pounded fermented soybean cake into this paste. These are the ingredients that go into making the paste. Dry chili peppers soaked in water, Thai shallots, garlic, lemongrass, galangal. Pound all these ingredients together into a paste and add the fermented soybean cake to it. And this is the paste that we use in making nam prik ong. Heat oil in a pan. Add the pounded paste to the pan. Cook over medium heat. Need to cook it out because the paste comes from fresh ingredients. Add ground fermented soybean cake. Stir. Add ground pork. Not too much. We want the paste to come out more than the ground pork. Ground pork only gives body to the dip. Add the cherry tomatoes. Usually they pound together the paste, the pork, and the cherry tomatoes, and then stir fry the whole thing. But it takes too long, so we're taking shortcuts today. Then you add water, not too much. Season with palm sugar, fish sauce. If you like the dip fairly dry, then this is okay. But if you want it to be more soupy, you need to add more water and cherry tomato. Or else the dip will not get the sourness from the broken down cherry tomatoes. You have to eat this with accompanying vegetables and pork rind. And all you have to do is now, what's missing is sticky rice. You just take this in there. Nah. It's so good. It's still hot, but it's so good. Oh, ขอบคุณครับ We're at Ban Khanom Jeen, or fermented rice noodle house. We're going to see how the rice noodle is made first. This is the essential starch eaten with the spare rib stew or nam ngiao. First, the drain-soaked raw rice is fermented in a bag for 3 days. Then it is grounded to make noodle dough. Natural color is added to the dough. The dough is kneaded. Then you push the dough through holes to make strands of noodle into boiling water. The noodle is cooked when it floats to the top. Strain the noodle out with a basket colander. Shock in cold water to stop the cooking process. Drain and form it into balls of noodles, ready to serve with nam ngiao. So this paste is exactly the same as the nam prik ong, and we're going to make a stew which is eaten with this fermented rice noodle that is from the ramen race. It's not Thai, nor is it Chinese, okay? Okay, now, Kun Jad is going to make it for us. Stir fry the paste in oil. Add the shrimp paste and fermented soybean paste mixed with water to it. Add the ground pork, cherry tomatoes, only small amount at a time. Take the paste out of the pan. To the pan, add the already tender pork spare rib and the soup into the pan. Add the curry paste to the soup. Bring it to boil. Add more cherry tomatoes. Now, I'm going to put something in Western culture, they don't have it, but this is congealed pig's blood, okay? It's already cooked. It's been steamed into blocks. She's been very kind, and there's lots of blood in here, and this is ready. It doesn't take very long to make it, so it's done. Now, we have to eat it with khanom jeen or fermented rice noodles. It's in color because there's some flower leaves, flower petals that's added to the batter when you cook it. So now I'm going to show you how to eat it. I use my hands, just a little bit, not too much. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask her to pour this over. She's giving me more blood. I need a blood transfusion, quick. Now, Nam Nghiao is very, very northern. And you add so many things to it because this is very rich and it's made from pork, so it's greasy. You squeeze a little lime into it. You have to mix it. I cut the noodles up and mix it all up like this. Wow. Wow, you see that? My God, this is the big mouthful, but we did it that way. Thai cuisine is like no other cuisine. Because what you need to do, you need to understand is that actually there's so many ingredients in here and so many texture. So what you do is that when you eat it, you mix it in your mouth while you chew it. It's very important that you understand this. It's like making a salad or something in your mouth. It's even like stir frying it in your mouth because all the sauce and everything goes into your mouth and your teeth. Crunches on this, softness on that, and hard and crispy on this. It makes it for a perfect medley of flavors and texture inside your mouth. This is so good.